Hello gamers, this is Sai and welcome back to Which Way Games. Are gamers ready to deal with the masterminds of hunting?
Clever girl.
And with that being said, let's get on with the video. When it comes to first-person shooters, most gamers can name a bunch of games off the top of their heads, such as Quake, Halo, and the infamous Doom, which is considered to be the granddaddy of all first-person shooters. In the early to mid-90s, 16-bit console gamers had amazing games to play, but something was missing from the lineup of gaming titles. This would be the first-person shooter genre, which seemed to go from strength to strength on the PC. Not only did PC gamers have the games I mentioned before to play, but they had some classic ones such as Shadow Warrior, Duke Nukem and Hexen. Console games would often look towards the PC generation in awe, especially with some of the classic games that PCs could play, but with the rise of the 5th generation of consoles, sins would be a thing of the past. Nintendo 64 gamers were lucky enough to have probably one of the earliest first-person shooters for a console. This would be Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Before I go into detail about this classic game, let's go back to where it all started. Wah! Not that far back. Turok began life all the way back in 1954 as part of a comic book series known as 4-Color Comics, which was published by Western Publishing. Eventually, Turok would go on to star in his own series called Turok Son of Stone. In this series, Turok is portrayed as a Native American, but he would end up being lost in a strange world known only as the Lost Valley. Turok would then go on an adventure to find his way back home alongside his brother Ander while dealing with dinosaurs and other strange creatures that want to make their brothers their lunch. Turok Son of Stone had quite a successful run from the late 50s all the way to the early 80s, but the series came to a close. It wouldn't be into the early 90s that Valiant Comics revamped Turok and took the series into a whole new direction, which I'll come back to. Coming back to the first-person shooters, the Nintendo 64 had the capabilities of creating this genre that could be on par with some of the gaming PCs at the time. Video game publisher Acclaim had purchased Iguana Entertainment as part of a strategy to develop in-house games for existing and upcoming gaming systems. With great source material, Iguana would go on to develop Turok Dinosaur Hunter, but they wouldn't be alone in this development of a game set within a prehistoric land. Iguana would have the support of Nintendo, which for some was a massive deal. Having this kind of support from Nintendo would have been a developer's dream, but Iguana had to create new software for Turok that would not only get the approval of Acclaim, but also from Nintendo as well. After dealing with many software issues, a few delays, and the need to make Turok violent like its comic counterpart, Turok Dinosaur Hunter was ready for the gaming world, and in January of 1997, Turok was released, a great day known as Turok Tuesday. And like always, let's go back to the past to see how Turok was advertised.
You thought they were extinct. They're back. Mutated and far more dangerous. Now they want the Earth back. Only one man with mammoth firepower and a taste for big game can make dinosaurs extinct again. Turok Dinosaur Hunter. From Acclaim.
The story of Turok Dinosaur Hunter sees Tales set the latest warrior to take the mantle of Turok, exploring the Lost Land and learning of an evil overlord known as a Campaigner. Each Turok is charged with protecting the barrier between Earth and the Lost Land, but the Campaigner is out to merge the two worlds using an ancient artifact known as a Chronoscepter. The Chronoscepter is such a powerful weapon that not only can it destroy the barriers protecting Earth and the Lost Land, but it can also grant unimaginable powers to whoever has it. powers such as controlling the very fabric of time, as well as supernatural abilities. Fearing what could happen if the Chrono Scepter fell into the wrong hands, it was broken up into 8 pieces and scattered across the Lost Lands. Learning of the evil plan of the Campaigner, Turok sets out to find the 8 pieces of the Chrono Scepter to stop the Campaigner from destroying the fabric of time and reality itself. Gameplay for Turok is played in the first-person perspective, with gamers exploring the mysterious lands through the eyes of Turok. Starting out in the main hub world, the other 7 stages are accessed here by portals, but only when keys and part of the Chrono Scepter are found. With action being the main part of Turok, there are plenty of weapons to hunt the enemies with, ranging from the classic bow all the way up to a mini nuke launcher that obliterates everything, very much like the BFG from Doom. There are also a different variety of enemies to deal with that become bizarre and harder to kill as Turok progresses through the game. Alongside all this action is a combination of puzzle solving as well as platforming. One drawback of Turok was the constant fog effects in the distance, which may have been because of the limitation of the Nintendo 64, however, I feel it adds to the mystery of the Lost Lands. Turok Dinosaur Hunter did solve one of the key issues with first-person shooters on a console. The issue was the ability to aim. The dual analog scheme that is used on modern controllers didn't exist yet, so Iguana assigned free look to the analog stick of the Nintendo 64 controller, with gamers moving Turok around using the C buttons. This control scheme allowed gamers to perform one of the most powerful moves in all first-person shooters. That will be circle strafing. Now, Turok sold very well when released and was even re-released in the same year to take advantage of the holiday season. In fact, Turok Dinosaur Hunter was such a success that it spawned a sequel, and the events that transpired at the end of the game had repercussions for Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, but that's for another time. Coming back to the story, Turok battles the evil Campaigner and eventually defeats him. However, Turok is now left wielding the Chrono Scepter and feels responsible for the outcome of the most powerful weapon in the universe. Deciding to enter a dream state through meditation, Turok speaks to the numerous Turoks that have lived throughout time. They all conclude that the Chrono Scepter must be destroyed in case it falls into the hands of evil once again. Turok then travels to an active volcano and throws the Chrono Scepter inside, causing a massive earth-shattering quake. This earthquake sadly wakes the Primagon from his slumber, and a new Turok named Joshua Fireseed will have to undo this mistake in the follow-up to Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Now, not only did Turok have another game made, it ended up being a trilogy. It even had a spin-off game called Turok Rage Wars. Turok Rage Wars was more about multiplayer action via deathmatches in a large world, very much like Quake 3 Arena. Turok was also released on the PC, but this version didn't do as well as its console counterpart. Overall, Turok Dinosaur Hunter is one of those classic Nintendo 64 games that should be in every gamer's collection. And if you think about it, if it wasn't for Turok leading the way, console gamers may not have had the legendary GoldenEye made for the system. Anyway, come back next time where Earthrealm was under threat from the evil forces of Outworld, and only a martial arts tournament can stop this evil invasion. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.